Welcome to Pirate Cooks, pirating restaurant recipes at home. Baklava is a dessert made of layered pastry and nuts that's steeped in a honey sauce. While it's considered to be fussy and difficult to make, it doesn't have to be. Phyllo Dough is difficult to get perfect, but mistakes can be covered easily, as you'll see. The first order of business is to process the nuts. I have here a pound of pecans and 8 ounces of pistachios. Walnuts would be traditional here, but not everyone is a fan of the bitterness and tannins in walnuts. The mix of nuts in this recipe had a restaurant in mind, and it was meant to appeal to as wide of an audience as possible. Point is, it's just a guide. By all means, use what you like. With the nuts, we're adding a half a cup of sugar, 2 heaping tablespoons of cinnamon, and a quarter teaspoon of ground cloves. Process it until you get a crumble. We're not looking for it to turn to dust or a paste. Now we melt 2 sticks of butter in a pouring cup. Here's where I do things a little different. I've never understood the need to apply this with a pastry brush. It's time-consuming, the phyllo dough dries out, and you get little puddles of butter that cook unevenly. Get yourself a spray bottle. I like these from the barbecue section of most mega stores. They're food safe and they're intended to hold hot liquids so they won't warp on you. Just pour your butter in and we'll just spray it on. Now we need our phyllo dough. Thawed, of course, and we're going to discover that the generic brand I found does not fit my pan perfectly. Not even an issue. I'm going to layer it back and forth and you won't even know the difference. If you can't be quick with the phyllo, you're going to need to cover it with a towel so it doesn't dry out. But using this method, hopefully you won't even need to. Don't worry if some of it rips. Just lay it out as flat as you can and keep going. So long as we get a neat layer on the top, no one will be any the wiser. Once you're a third of the way in, use half of your nut mixture to make a layer. Keep layering your dough, and after another third, use the other half of your nut mixture. Now layer up to finish. One thing of note, you don't need to place the phyllo dough one sheet at a time. You can do 2. So long as every sheet is in contact with butter, it'll crisp up beautifully. So if you have 2 sheets that are really stubborn coming apart, don't sweat it. Just layer them on. Now we cut. If you want the classic diamond shape, you cut a line diagonal like this, and then lines across. I won't be doing that. In fact, I'm going to have such trouble cutting straight around the camera that I'm going to give up on my original plan and cut squares. In fact, as I'm making it a point to show you all the mistakes I make, I'm going to stick the paper under the dough for more phyllo and spray the top with butter. Don't do that. Wait till you have the top cut and then spray. Don't forget to pour out your leftover butter and run some soapy water through your sprayer. It'll be a lot less annoying to clean it straight away. Pop this in a 350-degree oven. It can take from 35 to 45 minutes. When it's done, it should be golden, but poke the center of a square with a wooden skewer. If it comes out clean, it's done. Now to the honey sauce. You'll need a cup and a half of sugar, some orange zest. You can use a vegetable peeler or a sharp knife. Just try and get as little of this pith as possible. It's bitter. The juice from 1 lemon, and I like to use a strainer so I don't have to chase the seeds. 5 cloves, 2 cups of water, and 2 cups of honey, or 1 16-ounce container like this. Set this on medium heat and give it an occasional stir for about 20 minutes. Now our baklava is out of the oven and we just pour our honey mixture over. The pastry will soak this up through and through. Just give it a few minutes to cool and serve it up. Take a look. Other than the cutting, you'd never know how slapdash this was put together, and let that serve as proof. This is not as hard as you think to make. As always, please subscribe, hit the little bell so you know when the next cool thing comes out, and see you next time.